I think just seeing work from everywhere. There is so much we do in our industry, and there's so much that doesn't get seen as much as it should. So getting the opportunity to see as much as possible and get inspired by as much as possible content and work from everywhere, you know, that really, yeah, that really drives me. And not just the UK, not just a Western perspective, but actually seeing work from everywhere is, yeah, that's exciting. I think it's being part of a jury with more jurors, I guess, just the exchange of mindset. And I've had the luxury over the last sort of 13, 15 years to work with very incredible people, and the exchange of opinion, the exchange of mindset, and talking and debating about what is a good piece of work, I think can only be a very good way of stimulating the mind and creativity. So actually, yeah, meeting people and who will have different opinions and different way of thinking will be great. I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to insights, and for me, a true understanding of a human insight, and I don't mean just a data point. I mean understanding people and something that is so unique that you go, that is fantastic. So I think there's a campaign from decades ago. It was for Bravo, which is Whirlpool in Brazil, and they had this insight which was people are stuck in traffic in the middle of the day, obviously in the middle of, I think it was Rio and Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. But it was the human insight actually is people were sad and grumpy when they're driving. And so what they did is they bought one that spot across 11 radio station at the exact same time. And the message was, wouldn't it be nice if everyone smiled at each other, look at the person in the car next to you? And that human insight of knowing that you're behind your car, you're listening to radio, and you're bored, there is something so beautiful there. So finding that little nugget and just capitalizing that on in a way that add value, I think that for me is what I would be looking to. The second part is adding value. I think there's a lot of work that came out, obviously on the back end of COVID, which was much more serious, which was very kind of, intentional. And sometimes I feel like the brand might have lost themselves a little bit more into doing good in the world versus doing good for the brand. And it's a fine balance. But at the end of the day, there's a point of how do we add value? And if we add value for people, no matter if we do good or if we do something for the brand, if we add value in that and there's an exchange, then you can only come out in a better place. So that human insight and adding value for those people based on that human insight for me would be the perfect combo, I guess. I'm going to be biased here.
Yeah.
I think the work that Ogilvy's just done with a Dove, where it's turn your back on there's a new filter on TikTok, and it's just again perverting beauty standards. And in the speed of light, they've kind of created this campaign, which was a TikTok a filter and a campaign around hashtag turn your back on sort of this bad behavior. I think that just understands so well the platform, the culture of the media, the insights of beauty standards. That I mean, I hope that they will enter it. I'm sure they will, but that kind of campaign that just makes a difference and add value to people, to the next generation, and that was fantastic. When you do a campaign at this point in time, you should be looking at how does it do good for the planet, for people, and for the business. And I think it's the interesting balance of three. So Sheba, who won the Grand Prix media license Lions, it was much more about planet, but there was very little for people in it was much more kind of interesting rather than being explicit. And for the business as well, it was kind of very much kind of light, I guess, to a certain extent. So here it's more about and because it's becoming so difficult to cut through, everything, there is so much happening in culture all the time, standing out in culture, and so breaking through and owning this is you find the stories that kind of come out are much more around something that adds value to people's life, whether that's a good news story, whether that's a brand that's just doing something a bit different. And we shouldn't dismiss completely sort of, I guess, the principle as to why marketing is there, which is, there's a point we're here to sell, and we're here, but we can do that in a way that always help people, planet as well. And so it's finding that interesting balance. And I think the trends I'm seeing is a lot more brands are trying to flirt with that. So either planet or people, or and finding how to do all three is as I said, it's not the hard, it's not the easiest, but it is very much something that everyone's moving towards.